How can I, 33M, explain to my fiancé, 35F, my rare performance anxiety? Hey everyone. As the title suggests, I'm looking for some advice to better explain to my partner some issues I've been having periodically when it comes to performing sexually. Thanks for advance if you take the time to read through this. I appreciate it. Some context. We have been in a relationship for nearly 2 years, are recently engaged, and generally speaking have a healthy sex life and relationship. Very few arguments or big problems, aligned with interests and long-term goals, and typically have sex 3 to 4 times a week. The only reoccurring issue we have periodically, as in maybe the 5 or 6 times this has happened over the course of our relationship, is I will be unable to finish during sex and, consequently, she will get very self-conscious and start to question the quality of our relationship and sex life. This first happened fairly early on in our relationship. In fact, I think that the first time we had sex I was having trouble staying hard because I was worried about not being able to perform for our first time together. For anyone who has the luxury of not having this issue and doesn't understand, it is basically a self-fulfilling prophecy of anxiety that if, for whatever reason, but typically if I am losing sensitivity, am stressed, distracted, or tired from the day I start to doubt whether I will be able to reach climax and that she will be disappointed. If I start to think this way, it is hard for me to stop, since I am no longer in the moment and am self-doubting, causing me to feel it more. The first few times this happened, she was notably distraught and started questioning whether I was attracted to her, if she was good enough, etc. Apparently, she had never had a partner not be able to finish, and this was all new news to her. I explained as best I could that it truly wasn't her, it's me, and that occasionally I have the issue of getting in my own head during sex and being unable to climax, especially if I feel pressure to perform for whatever reason. Typically, she might be upset for the night, but the next day or soon after we will have sex no problem and months will go by with no issue and things will be great, water under the bridge. Then it might happen again. Maybe I'm stressed or high, or not self-confident for whatever reason and can't finish, and the same thought process starts to take place, where she thinks I don't find her attractive, she's the problem, not good enough, do I want to see other people, etc. It's honestly really hurtful when I hear her say things like that, because I don't want to see other people and I don't like that she reconsiders the validity and strength of our relationship over one night of sex that didn't end in climax, but was otherwise great. I explain this to her and let her know that when she has these, to me, big reactions to when things don't go according to plan, that feeds into my anxiety and makes me worry even more about performing well the next time, since whenever I can it's met with her obvious disappointment and questioning our relationship. I told her that I understand that she's disappointed. I'm disappointed too, but that I think it would be best if we just acknowledge that hey, it didn't work out tonight. No big deal. Let's try again next time we're ready, or something along those lines, so that the pressure stays off and I know she's still on my team. With all that said, we have recently been wanting to start trying to have kids, and started looking up the ideal times to have sex during her cycles to maximize our chances. She commented last night that, okay, we have to have sex every day this week to give us the best shot. I didn't respond the way she wanted. I told her that I am worried that I wouldn't be able to do it every day. She says that I should be excited and that sex should feel easy, which I sympathize with, but I was just letting her know that I don't want the days that we are having sex to feel like a job or obligation, dependent on whether I am able to climax or not. We like to keep our sex life fresh by introducing toys, ideas, and outfits for her. We share a similar interest in anal. She is interested in making videos, and I have bought her a skirt and a onesie with a butt flap that I enjoy seeing her in, as well as a few other toys that we both like. That said, however, she has a very high sex drive and could have sex every day with or without these things, although she does enjoy them. She has only turned down sex a few times due to being tired, so she doesn't really understand when it takes me more time to get into the mood or why I like adding in some spice now and then. I made a mistake by responding to her, we need to have sex every day this week, with, we might have to get some more outfits for you. And it came across less as something that would keep things fun and interesting for both of us, and more like I wouldn't be interested in having sex each day unless there was some added flair. I acknowledge that I could have worded this better, and can understand why she felt like that statement paired with a fear of not being able to perform would bring her doubt. Anyway, we start to have sex after we settled this conversation and, lo and behold, I unfortunately got in my own head, likely from the previous conversation and sharing my fear, and consequently couldn't finish last night. I told her I'm sorry and that I was just too in my own head. This was the first time in months where I had this issue, and we have otherwise had great sex, and that we can try again tomorrow. We came back to bed after washing up, and she was notably distraught, cold, and I could tell she was bothered by the whole situation. She immediately says she has doubts we are going to be able to get pregnant. Mind you, we just started trying. This is the first time I have had this issue since deciding to try, and she just got off birth control a little over a month ago. I told her that it hurts me when she says things like that as a reaction to one bad night, and this is the exact kind of thing that gives me anxiety in the first place. She repeated the same things, that she doubts whether I find her attractive and that she doesn't understand why I'm not excited to have sex every day and that it should feel easy. I explained that I do find her sexy, that I had explained just before we had sex why I was a little anxious about the goal of having sex every day, and we have already discussed how when you have these kind of reactions after a one-off night that doesn't end in climax but otherwise is really enjoyable, that it just feeds into my anxiety. I also told her that there are no other areas in our relationship or life where we think that a 98% rate is a failure. I don't even classify these nights as failures, tbh. They were still great. It's all in the reaction afterward that make it hard to me. And that, like every couple, we have occasional arguments or miscommunications, but I never hear her saying that those areas of our life need to be completely easy. She then asked if she thought we should try IVF since I have doubts that I'll be able to do it. I told her that was hurtful and that, again, I don't think that one night where I am unable to finish should be defining our sex life or our ability to get pregnant, especially this early on in trying. It's not that I doubt we will be able to have sex every day, just that I am sharing that I feel a bit of pressure with the idea of needing to make it happen every day. Not that I wouldn't want it to happen. I'm just trying to share my vulnerability with having the quality or success of our sex, and now, pregnancy, hinge on my climax. TLDR. Basically, anytime we have sex and I am unable to finish again, this has only happened 5 to 6 times in our 2-year relationship. It always ends with her being doubtful of my interest in her, the quality of our relationship and sex life as a whole, and now whether kids are even a possibility at this rate. It is really jarring for me to go from what is seemingly a lovely relationship with very small and far between problems to it flipping on its head because I couldn't come, especially after I've explained how and why this happens and how we can move past it easier, but she still has these types of reactions that feed into the very issue, and I don't know how to respond to anymore. Help, please. Thanks for reading.